I know what you're thinking, but Tom, electronic countermeasures are bad. Point defense serves the same purpose much better, and if you're in combat with a cargo hold full of platinum, you've already messed up. And you would be right, which is why in my 1,000-odd hours of gameplay, I only touched ECMs recently. You see, I was dipping a toe into Thargoid rescue missions, where ECMs are the only real way to avoid FSD shutdown missiles, so I started researching how they actually work. And that's when my face lit up as I solved a problem that had plagued me for a long time, at least back when plat mining was the best game around. Mining isn't very profitable anymore, so unless you're mining tritium for a deep space fleet carrier on a multi-month expedition, there isn't much reason to do it. But if you do, there's always been a rather inelegant part of mining that got under my skin a little bit. When you leave to mine, you have to fill your hold with limpets. Since yields are fairly random outside of map mining, it's difficult to properly portion how many limpets you need while still leaving space for ore. Almost every mining expedition usually ends in dumping dozens of unused limpets into space. When you get closer to the bottom of your supply, this becomes dicey since your active limpets may run out of timer, and then you might not have the supply left over to replenish. There's also a problem where a limpet might end up holding on to one count of a raw material like iron or nickel since your cargo hold is full, and it'll hold on to it for the rest of time. Manually deactivating limpets so that you can refresh their lifespan and make them drop items you can't acquire means rooting through the module menu and then rebooting each controller. You have to wait on the reboot, so it's not very fast or convenient. Thankfully, the ECM is here to help us optimize. By activating the ECM, all limpets within the effective range are instantly destroyed, allowing you to refresh your limpets at the press of a button. Well, 2 buttons, technically. ECM requires combat mode for some reason. Stupid because it's a defensive utility mount like a heatsink. But it's still less trouble than manual rebooting or going into your inventory and selecting 10 limpets to abandon. This is meant to destroy hatchbreaker limpets, but it works on all kinds. Just be advised that it'll also nuke your prospector limpet if it's within range. So you should only do this after you've finished mining an asteroid. Also, you shouldn't do this when mining an open, or while there are other people around, or mining in a wing with friends. It's a small quality of life optimization, and if you aren't a combat player and therefore don't have an elegant control scheme for changing combat modes, it might be less convenient than the traditional way. But with a bit of lightweight engineering, these ECM mounts weigh almost nothing and cost almost nothing, and the utility slots on a mining vessel are hardly at a premium. If you mine regularly, I highly recommend these.